Oh, this one is the one that really gets me. You are just too sensitive. Yes, I was. I was a very highly sensitive child, and there's usually always one of us in the family that's a highly sensitive child that feels everything, that can feel the turmoil, that brings and feels the generational trauma, can feel it from down the line, right? The codependency, the people pleasing, the enmeshment, the emotional incest, all of that stuff. We feel it all. So do not blame the child for being sensitive.
Welcome to the Secret Life Podcast. Tell me your secret. I'll tell you mine. Sometimes you have to go through the darkness to reach the light. That's what I did. After 12 years of recovery in sex and love addiction, I finally found my soulmate, myself. Please join me in my novel, Secret Life of a Hollywood Sex and Love Addict, a 4-time bestseller on Amazon. It's a brutal, honest, raw, gnarly ride, but hilarious at the same time. Check it out now on Amazon.
Welcome to Secret Life Podcast. I'm Brianne Davis-Gantt. Today I'm pulling back the curtains of all kinds of human secrets. We'll hear about what people are hiding from themselves or others. You know, those deep, dark secrets you probably want to take to your grave, or those lighter, funnier secrets that are just plain embarrassing. Join me each week as we take a deep dive into one subject, exploring the how, what, when, where, and why of it all. Get ready for a more focused, more revealing journey of the human experience. This is a new chapter of Secret Life, and I'm excited for you to join the ride. Today, we are talking about cycle breakers. Oh, never underestimate a cycle breaker. I am a cycle breaker. Nice to meet you. My name is Brianne Davis. I am a cycle breaker. Thank you very much. Applaud. Took 15 years, but I did it. All right. 15 years, but I did it. 15 plus years. Never underestimate us. Never underestimate a cycle breaker. Not only did they experience years of generational trauma, but they fought and stood in the face of trauma and said, this ends with me. This is brave. This is powerful. This comes at a significant cost. Never underestimate a cycle breaker. And being a cycle breaker, I want to honor all of us today because it is the hardest fucking thing to do, to stand in a family and say, no more. I am not doing this pattern. I am not doing this behavior. I am not acting out this role that I was placed in this family. I am not going to carry on the generational trauma from all the people before me in my family. I am no longer going to carry this with me into the next group, into my son. I refuse. No more. Ends with me. And when I talk about this, I'm going to cry. When I talk about this, it gives me such hope for the future because I feel like right now there is more young generations healing than ever before. I have more young clients than ever because there's this deep need to no longer stay in this dark, empty place, especially when you don't know where it's coming from. And I felt when I came out of the womb, this is my story, that I already came out with all these feelings of not lovable, not good enough, I'm going to be abandoned. What's the matter with me? What's wrong with me? Even growing up in a really dysfunctional family. Listen, my parents did the best they could. I love them. We have gone through thick and thin. We have healed. We are in good terms. We speak. You know, I did take 2 years off talking to my dad to heal that relationship. My mom and I have been through it. But they had the baggage of their families. They didn't get to see how to be healthy parents sometimes, how to communicate their frustrations when they got triggered. I mean, just when Davis triggers me sometimes, I'm like, okay, use my tools, emotionally regulate myself, use my DBT skills, mindfulness. Like I literally have to go to all my toolbox that I've learned over 15 years so I don't scar him. So my nervous system, when it gets dysregulated, doesn't dysregulate his nervous system. That's the work I have done. And I look at my parents and I said, they had none of that. They didn't have therapy. They didn't have DBT skills. They didn't have mindfulness. They didn't have all those things, rage room, going and feeling your feelings, having the screaming, just letting it all out, 12 step didn't start until the 70s. So it's like they did not have this. And I'm so grateful that I got to heal this part of me. And now I get to do it with other people and they get to heal their generational trauma. They get to become cycle breakers because it's a fucking honor. It's a fucking honor to be a cycle breaker. And I had a client yesterday say this other person is a narcissist. And he's like, why wouldn't he want to do this work? Why wouldn't he want to be better? And wouldn't a narcissist? And I said, narcissists want to stay victims. They do not want to become cycle breakers. They want to use that past shit, that generational trauma, the victimhood, to live in their shit, to live in their behaviors and patterns and get away with it and use it as an excuse. When you become a cycle breaker, you evolve. You can no longer use these excuses for my behaviors. You can no longer lean into those old patterns and think it is okay. All right, so are you a cycle breaker? Let's ask. Do you recognize unhealthy family dynamics and patterns? That's the first thing. Can you talk about dysfunctional family issues even when it's uncomfortable? I still, to this day, when I work with someone, they get really uncomfortable bringing up family issues, like they're betraying their family. And it's like, no, you're actually talking about what is going on that's toxic in your family. Do you take time to understand the behaviors of other family members? So when I was doing this work, I would be like, okay, so why is this family member acting this way? What is it kicking up for them? What is that fear? Where did they come from? How was their parents treat them? What was their trauma at that age? So understanding where they came from as human beings, that really helped me. Are you actively working to change this behavior? There's one thing to know your patterns and behaviors, but then not to actually do the work. A lot of people then stay stagnant. They know it and then they don't do anything about it. And that is the definition of torture. You might as well just torture yourself. You might as well take a needle and keep poking myself in the eye. That is absolute torture. To even watch somebody know this pattern and behavior doesn't work for me. I got it from my parents. They probably got it from their parents because addiction or this behavior runs in the family, enmeshment, emotional incest, toxicity, acting out, rage, name it, right? And then they keep fucking doing it. And you're like, yeah, that's the definition of insanity and self-torture and self-abuse. Next one. Do you refuse to repeat the same trauma cycle over and over again that you were raised in? So Mark and I have been doing really good about this. We refuse to do the same behaviors that our parents did with us with Davis. We consciously make an effort. We consciously go, this was done to us, so we will do the opposite. This was done to us, so we will do the opposite. So we consciously make an effort. There's this one. This is a hard one for a lot of people. Do you allow yourself not to fit in the family anymore? Will you allow yourself to be the black sheep, the one that just doesn't get along with the family? That's a huge one. A lot of people have a problem with that. I am okay being the outcast of the family. I'm okay. Okay. I'm the bad guy. Okay. I'm the one holding up the mirror saying, I'm not going to participate in this. I'm not going to be this role anymore. I'm the bad guy. Okay. But a lot of people don't want to be in that position because it hurts being shunned. It hurts being tossed out. It hurts being pushed aside. And that's one of the things that I really help people work on. When you are a cycle breaker, you're going to be outcast. You're going to be pushed aside. You're going to be ostracized. And being okay and sitting in that discomfort because you have your truth, you have the work you do, you have that you don't want to continue in this dysfunctional pattern with this family. And self-awareness, 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 getting outside of your family and creating your own new family, whether it be friends, your partner, having children yourself, that you are consciously making an effort to connect to other individuals on this planet that are not your fucking family. Just because they're blood doesn't mean you have to have them in your life. Just because you were married to them and you have kids together doesn't mean you have to have them in your life. Amen, right? Like, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. So here's the other things. These cycle breakers, AKA people that come in and say, fuck no more, they disrupt the genetic imprint. The traumatic genetic imprint enough. They start to heal the family. They recognize dysfunctional behaviors. They take time to understand people. They use coping mechanisms. They refuse to use coping mechanisms that no longer are helpful. They don't overeat. They don't turn to shopping. They don't turn to rage. They sit in their feelings. They don't blame other people and play the victim. Those are some old coping mechanisms that no longer work. For me, I would turn into like the brat. That was one of my coping mechanisms with my family. If I felt the chaos of the family, I would turn into a brat. I would just like make outbursts and I would scream and cry and yell. And so I would no longer do that. I wouldn't disrupt it more. You don't fit in with the family. You feel like you're outside of the system and you choose not to repeat this any longer. And it's so exciting when I watch people break these patterns because it's the hardest thing to do, but it is the most rewarding because you literally become a different person. You literally, if you decide to have a child, this trauma doesn't go down to your child. And even when the days are really hard or I'm dealing with something that I don't even know, but it's in the dysfunctional family system, I always go, this is going to help Davis. Even if I don't understand it right now and I'm struggling, this is going to help Davis. So what are the challenges of being a cycle breaker? Oh, especially at the beginning. You don't need therapy. This is too much money. Here are things. Some of the challenges, you get guilt trips. You have imposter syndrome. You really struggle with people telling you that there was nothing wrong with your childhood, that you were the problem. You were the problem, that your childhood was so great that you were the problem, that you don't remember your childhood properly. I love that one. You just don't remember your childhood properly. You were such a happy childhood. Are you ashamed of us? Oh, that's a good one. Oh, you're so ashamed of us. You just don't understand our family. That's another one I hear a lot. People have it a lot worse than you do. You don't even know how good you have it. I mean, here's the thing. Generational trauma, being a cycle breaker can be as easy as neglect at a child. You could have everything. And if your parents neglected your needs or just being there, being empathetic, allowing you to have a feeling, that's neglect. But people like to say, oh, you had it so good. It's like, if you are bringing on things that happen from generations down, it doesn't matter how good the outside looks. It's still a dysfunctional family. You are blamed for all the problems of the family. Yes. Oh, you're the black sheep. Yes, I heard that one a lot. You are the black sheep. You are the difficult child. You are going to lose this family. You are not going to be a part of this family anymore. You are out of this family. How could you do this after all the sacrifices I made for you? I refuse. That's the one thing I do not say to Davis. Like, I am your mother. I brought you into this world. Uh, I own you, all of those things. Like, I don't try to say, look at everything I've done for you, and this is how you're acting. I do not use those for my child when he is acting out or having a feeling or I feel out of control. Oh, this one is the one that really gets me. You are just too sensitive. Yes, I was. I was a very highly sensitive child. And there's usually always one of us in the family that's a highly sensitive child that feels everything, that can feel the turmoil, that brings and feels the generational trauma, can feel it from down the line, right? The codependency, the people pleasing, the enmeshment, the emotional incest, all of that stuff. We feel it all. So do not blame the child for being sensitive. Figure out how to help the child feel the feelings of being sensitive. But I always love, you are just too sensitive. You just had so many needs. I didn't know how to fill them. I would give you love and it was never enough. That was when I heard. Look at what you're doing to your mother and your father. Look at what you're doing. They're not going to be on this planet much longer. Look at what you're doing. Shouldn't you just talk to them? Oh my God. It's like, are you kidding me? I have to have a toxic person in my life because they're not going to be on this planet much longer. Like, is that a reason to allow toxicity into my life? No, that's what I tell people. No, just because they're blood doesn't mean you have to have them in your life. And you might have to take a break. You might let them back in. But at this moment, when you are a cycle breaker, you have to have such strong boundaries around you to protect you, to break that cycle. When you break a cycle, it has to be a clean break. You have to cut it, clean break to become a cycle breaker. So you have to literally go, I surrender. I give up. I am no longer carrying this baggage into my life anymore. I will let go of everything so I no longer have to do this. And I am going to heal at any cost. And I'm not going to take this anymore. And if you don't want to come with me, that's on you, my friend. That is on you. If you want to keep acting this out, that is your life, not mine. Oh. Okay, so here's how you help yourself. You get a really good, healthy support system. You get around people that know what you're going through. I could not have become a cycle breaker without my 12-step program, without working Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous, without doing therapy, without doing body work, without doing all the trauma work, the inner child work, the shadow work, doing all the stuff. You know, I did momentum. I did similar to Landmark. I literally, you have to pretty much do everything to get it out of your system so you no longer carry it. And in doing that, you find a community of people that are doing the same. You have to find like-minded people, because if not, the old people will make you feel crazy. They will make you feel like you are wasting money, wasting time, being overly sensitive, because it's like a warped chemicals in your brain. It's a rewiring of your brain that happened generations. Like, your low self-esteem probably came from your great-great-grandmother that was with her toxic husband that used to beat her. That was mine. That was an alcoholic. And it just got passed down. And I then picked very toxic people and was toxic myself and wanted power and control to destroy men because I did not want to become my grandmother. But what I did was shut off myself so much that I couldn't connect to anybody. So I just went around destroying people and destroying myself. So that was done generations before me. So I am now responsible to stop that pattern and not carry that. Learning to say no. Say no. No, thank you. Not joining it. Not happening. Look at your story with no judgment. I have no judgment on my story. I have no judgment on my patterns or my behavior. Look at the things that you did as survival tactics that you didn't know. And so now that you know, you have to do better. And then help others. That was a big one for me. Help others with no conditions, but limit that amount of how much you help them, because that can get a little shaky. So if you are codependent or a people pleaser, limit the amount of times you help others, because you have to also protect yourself and take care of yourself, because you're healing at the same time. Those are things that really, really, really helped me during my cycle breaker period. All right, here are all the things, and I want to do this amazing affirmation that I found. It doesn't have the author, but I really loved it, so I want to talk about it real quick. But here is one of the quotes that I also found that I love. It talks about one of the things you hear, like, you are wasting your time and money. What they're actually saying is, we're scared that you're going to reveal our dysfunction. We're scared that we're going to lose you. We're scared of being criticized. We're scared of our family changing. We're scared of what the future looks like. We're scared that if you go to therapy, then we have to look at ourselves. We're scared of uncertainty. So when the family members in your life are saying that, they're in that fear. So don't take it personal. That's just their fear. And so when that was happening with me, I knew it was scary. I was scared. So I allowed them to have those feelings without judgment about what I was doing, but I kept forging ahead. And so that's what I'm going to ask you. No matter who's saying what around you, keep forging ahead, because being a cycle breaker is the best fucking thing in the world, and nobody can take it from you. And it's one of the badges of honor that I wear, that I'm like, I am a fucking cycle breaker, and I did it for me, and then I did it for my son. And my husband wears that badge of honor too, and we are proud cycle breakers. So if you are struggling, please keep forging. Even in the darkness, there is a little light, and you just got to keep walking, and you can do it. And you always kind of have to do it alone. You're lucky if a sibling comes with you, but normally you have to do it alone. So here's a beautiful affirmation to close this episode. I am continually healing generational and historical trauma. I prioritize my health and wellness and set a new example for future generations. I stand up for myself, do what's best for me, check in with myself daily. I am dedicated to my growth and will change the landscape of my conditioned thoughts, habits, and behaviors. I am in charge of my future, and I craft my reality. I take on each challenge with grace, self-compassion, and know how to set boundaries with myself and others. I live a fulfilling life and love all parts of who I am. I'm ready to take on each day and continue to learn every step of the way. I attract love and peace because love and peace is within me. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the episode on cycle breakers. Never fucking underestimate a cycle breaker. We are badasses. And please, if your family is dysfunctional, I am pushing you to join the warriors of cycle breakers. Do it. It's an honor. Thank you for listening to Secret Life Podcast. I love to know what you thought about the episode on this topic, or if you have a topic you want me to talk about. Please send a note to secretlifepodcast@icloud.com. Until next time.
Thanks again for listening to the show. Please subscribe, rate, share, or send me a note at secretlifepodcast.com. And if you'd like to check out my book, head over to secretlifenovel.com or Amazon to pick up a copy for yourself or someone you love. Thanks again. See you soon.